Welcome to another week of Eagles football. This week is week 11 against the 3-6 Washington Redskins, right? Ha! So from the beginning of the season, let's think about talking about this game, talking about the 3-6 last place Washington Redskins, right? Yeah, we're in last place with them. We're 3-6 as well. It's not exactly how I envisioned this season. The reality is, loser of today's game is in last place by themselves in the NFC East. I wish I could say with confidence that the Eagles will not be in last place today, but as our recent slide has showed us, we can find ways to lose. But we're not going to try to sit there and hawk on that. We'll just talk a little bit of facts, and then we're going to go into just our future dream vision of our Philadelphia Eagles. Now, last week was horrible. One bright spot is, that bomb from Foles. Interesting, playing against the Cowboys. After Vick got knocked out of the game, I kind of sensed that the offensive line felt a little different with Foles back there. Of course, yeah, he did have that weird interception, and then he did get sacked for that fumble into the end zone. But I think the offensive line played a little different, a little better with Foles back there. Just a little odd. I think Foles brings something a little different to the table. But we'll talk a little bit more about him because that's more of the feature of today. So the rest of the game just stunk. I'm kind of tired of watching Asamoah getting trucked over. Our defense kind of is not showing up as I wished, and the new guy coming in hasn't done that much different than Castillo, and I think our defense is actually worse without Juan. So. But, it's early, I get all that stuff, but this season is wrapping up kind of quickly. And if we lose today, I think it's just about over. NFC East is bad enough where we're still not even completely out of it. We still play the Giants again. They don't have an easy schedule. And this is one of those seasons where the Giants can tank it and somebody could win the division at 8-8. I mean, it's possible, but it's something I don't want to depend on. So last week the game stunk. Today we're playing the Washington Redskins with RG3. He's a younger, it seems kind of like a smaller but very fast kind of Michael Vick-ish person. The difference between the two people, one of them's playing today. Vick, all seriousness, I hope you get better. Shanahan has done something different with RG3 where he started tailoring the offense for what RG3 can bring to the table, and the skill set that he has. There's some things that he doesn't have, and there's things that he does have, like that annoying thing where he licks all the time. I don't know what that is. He might be like half gecko or something. But RG3 can run the ball. We all know that. He can pass when he needs to. He's not going to be, Brett Favre or anything, but they set it up with the run. That's what Shanahan does. And RG3 is still very young right now. I mean, remember a young McNabb could run circles around people. A young Vick could do it. We're watching RG3 do it now. Does history prove that a running quarterback doesn't have longevity? We're watching Vick get knocked out of games now. Like, again, I'm not going to make fun of health issues, but that's kind of just what happens when you have a running quarterback. I haven't seen a successful running quarterback win the Super Bowl. There's a reason why that happens. Shanahan's trying to prove that wrong, but his team's in last place with us, so it doesn't really work too well. And that's kind of just the point I just want to bring out there before I just move on and not get in a negative. The problem, I think, is with Andy Reid's version of offense. It seems like he has a system that he just builds regardless of who his players are, and then he tries to fit his players into that system. Michael Vick has certain talents, and he brings certain things to the table that you're flat out just not taking advantage of. And it's very obvious that Vick is trying to fit into the system and to do well with it. More power to him. I mean, but that system, the system that we run, the West Coast offense system and the dropbacks and all that stuff, that the way that Vick does it, Andy Reid wants to do it, it's not for Vick. It also makes the rest of our offense suffer because we're doing things like not putting the ball in Shady McCoy's hands. We're trying to really have a quick offensive line where there are a lot of undersized, which means they're getting overpowered, and then they wear down. They don't create the holes like Shady needs. I mean, he ran to the left a lot last year because we had Jason Peters, who in the world is going to push around Jason Peters? Well, when you don't have that guy in now, could he only just run to the left? We're seeing the value of the offensive line right now. So that's a big deal. So, I mean, what do we do today? With a rookie quarterback starting, and we'll talk about it in a sec, rookie quarterback starting, do we lean hard on the run that we kind of don't have? Do we do a lot of passing but screen passes, but there's a kind of predictable, like we almost got intercepted against Dallas? What do we do? I don't know, and I don't know what Reid has planned, because I thought we would do more running last week or when we play other teams with bad run defenses, and we seem like we don't necessarily do that with the running backs that we have. Maybe having like a two-back set, and you don't know if it goes to Bryce Brown or Shady McCoy, whatever. We'll deal with that. It's my heater. So forget about all that stuff. Forget about talking about Andy Reid and potentially this being his last year and holding Jeffrey Lurie. I mean, that's something that we can talk about every week. It's almost like talking about a press conference that Andy Reid holds. Once you heard one, you heard it all, so we're not going to rehash this every week. I do want to continue to see who people believe is going to be our next coach. Like I told you before, I don't want Gruden, Cowher, or Billick. But who do you want? Let's start every week, start putting some posts down or something, and let's start talking a little more football and get some information out there. But I do want to talk about a little bit Nick Foles. I told you in the beginning of the season, I like Nick Foles. I really believe that when the Eagles do hoist that trophy up, the Lombardi Trophy, not NFC East or whatever other trophy they got out there, or NFC Championship, I want a Super Bowl trophy. I think Nick Foles will be the starting quarterback. He's like a Ben Roethlisberger, which Big Ben, before he's got hurt, I hope he gets better too. He has 2 Super Bowl rings, 6'6", 250. The guy's not going to go down easy. He's a big guy. He can see over the offensive line. He's got an arm. You saw that on the bomb to Macklin. And it doesn't seem like he gets phased very easy, which means I think he'll survive here in Philadelphia, where he's not going to say a bunch of dumb stuff, but he's not going to sound very timid. And he doesn't look like he was really timid back there. That's what happens when you're a big guy. You don't get intimidated easily because people that are smaller than you are trying to tackle you. So it is somewhat interesting to see how they're going to use Nick Foles, see if they put in certain packages for him. I'm interested to see how they use him. I'm more interested to see who the next coach and the next regimes use him. But for this year, we can look at a couple things that doesn't matter what you call, is how Nick Foles responds. So I want to see pass accuracy. I want to see how he hits runners in stride. I want to see some quick decisions. I want to see 3-step drops. And I want to see audibling. See if he audibles in and out of plays well. I want to see clock management. And there's some basic things out of a rookie or out of a quarterback that you can see, regardless who the coach is, you can see how their mind's starting to work and what their potential is. Because we're potentially going to draft off them. If you think about it, we got Trent Edwards behind him. And then Vick, I don't think he's going to be the quarterback for Philadelphia at all next year. And I don't think Reid's going to be the coach. So Nick Foles, I believe, is our future. So let's see how he responds to things. Win or lose, I mean, I'm never going to predict an Eagles loss, but I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke and go, oh yeah, the Eagles win by, we lost 5 in a row. Okay, we've done enough of that, so who knows what's going to happen. A lot of Eagles fans like myself seem pretty numbed out to what's going on. We can't control that, but as a reminder, and try to stay as positive as possible as we go through this hard time, that we were here before any of this mess happened. We enjoyed our good defenses, our flashy offenses, just our tough Philadelphia team. We were here before, Andy Reid, Jeffrey Lurie, all those people, and I guarantee you we'll be here after them. We have to get through this like we went through the Rich Kotite era. I mean, this is just a whole lot more painful because this has been 14 years of almost, and 14 years of almost is pretty painful, especially when 5 times, oh, we could have. Don't even get me started. So we'll get through this time. We can joke a little bit and have some fun. We can do an over and under today. Before we did a bunch of over and unders, forget that. Today's over and under we can have on how many times Osawa misses tackles and gets run over. I think he's good for at least 2 a game, and I'm going to up this to 3. I don't know if this is kind of personal to you, Asamoah, but if you're watching this, probably not. But if you're watching this, you need to tackle. If you're on defense, you need to tackle. And it's pretty embarrassing to get run over. I can care less how much you're trying, this kind of thing. I get it. This is Philadelphia. If you're not tough enough to tackle, then you need to find another place to be. I don't care how smart you are and how you're going to other places and doing all sorts of other things. That's great as a human being, but as a football player, you're starting to become a bust. And I don't know how things were different in Oakland, but this is Philly, and you might not have safety help, you might not have these other things. You just have to, play all out and tackle somebody, wrap it up, and play some fundamental football. And that's right to you. Okay, Asamoah, please take some lessons from Kirk Coleman. Who would have thought I'd say that? At least the guy gets in there and gets his helmet knocked off, but he can tackle somewhat, and I think he can tackle better than you right now, and he gets paid a whole lot less. So why don't you step up to the plate? That's it for my video this week. We're playing Washington at 1 o'clock. I hope for the best. I hope not to be in last place and be the laughing stock in the NFC East. Maybe we can get a win, start getting back in this a little bit, and not be playing for draft picks. Let's play for a little bit of pride. Go Birds! I hope you win today, and do your thing. All right.
Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to